Today we're going to be taking a look at the Sideshow Collectibles Red Sonja, a Savage Sword. Before we actually look at the statue, we're going to take a quick look at the box. Top there just says Red Sonja, a Savage Sword. And then pulling back to see the front of the box here, you get a nice image of the actual statue there. Top just says Red Sonja, Savage Sword again. Bottom corner, premium format, so this is going to be a quarter scale piece. Taking a look at the side of the box, it says Red Sonja again, and you get some nice blood splatter on the corner there. Very bottom Sideshow. And then taking a look at the back, it is a nice image of the sword with some blood, and then at the bottom it just says sideshow.com. So we're going to start off with the base here, and then we're going to work our way up to that portrait. This piece is consisted of 6 separate components that you put together, and it creates this really nice flow to the piece. This is probably one of the coolest dynamic poses that I have within my collection for statues. I don't really have anything that is an action piece like this, so this definitely stands. Well, I have one other that in my display at the very end I'll show kind of how this fits in with my collection, because I have a piece that sits next to it. It's very dynamic as well as this piece. Then I also have a Vampirella that sits on the other side, and this next to that Vampirella, if you stick around, you'll be able to see it. They pair really nicely together, which is crazy because they are 2 different scales. This is a quarter scale statue, and then the Vampirella I have is a 3rd scale, but they don't look too far off. They actually seem to work really well together. So we're just going to start off with the base here. You get a nice image of all the blood, and you get some hands there, and then even like up here that is holding her to the base is a hand. It's very cool. You get lots of skulls in here, and you get some more hands back there. This piece right there, pretty sure it's just more like blood effect, but it almost looks like brains to me anyways. You get a nice skull face up there. You see it's wearing like a medieval helmet, and then down here is another skull that's wearing like a medieval like chained hood. So it's really nice that you can make out that detail within all of this red, this sea of red. And then you get a like a spine back there, and we'll get a better look at the back side whenever we get the statue turned around. And we're gonna go ahead and flow up the leg here and kind of work our way up to the portrait. So with the boot here, you get a lot of different textures going on as far as the fur, and then you have what is like a leather material for the actual boot, and you get some twine there holding it together that's done in black. Now the blood splatter on this piece, I've heard some other people talk about this and they wish there was more. I'm definitely in the same vein, especially with how solid this base is and being just completely red. I think Red Sonja would have really benefited from being like fully covered in blood, like half her body. She is jumping from the sea of red here, so I think it would have looked pretty cool to see that, because I don't think we've gotten any statues of Red Sonja that are just soaked like that. So that definitely would have been something to add that is different. But I feel like this piece already does a lot that a lot of Red Sonja statues don't do. And this one definitely stands out to me. There you get some nice wrapping around her thigh. The skin shading is pretty good. And you can see whenever we move up here to like the rib cage, you can see her ribs. Like the individual ribs and her stomach there. Her belly button. It looks really good. On camera, it is coming through, I think, a little more defined than in person. Looking at it in person and then in camera, it's kind of hard to tell which one pops a little more. In person, you get like a little hint of blue, and it kind of shows up on camera, but like right there on her stomach, there's like a hint of blue. And it looks really good. It's almost like a vein work. We're going to take a look at the other side here of her thigh. You get a little bit more going on this side. You get like the knife there. She's got a little bit of armor. Red Sonja doesn't really have a lot going on as far as armor. So she's got just a little bit there in gold, and you get some blood. Just a little bit on it. And you get more wrapping here. A lot more wrapping here. And the texture in this is really good. Like, that looks incredible. The paint on it is really good too. Yeah, they did a really good job with that. And then the fur boot here, you can see like a better look at the boot on this side versus the other side where it was being grabbed. And even like the bottom of the shoe with like the blood on it. And we'll get a better look at the very bottom of the shoe whenever I get this turned around. And then the belt there that wraps around to the pouch. It's very nice. You can see it's like wrapped around, and there's a lot more than it just being like a solid leather belt. There's some straps on it, and it looks like it's been stitched together like right there, and then up here by the actual the ring. You get some bands going on it, and then you get what holds this little skirt piece. I'm lacking on the name right now, but her little like bikini armor bottom part. It's got some nice scaling to it. It's gonna drive me crazy that I can't think of the name of it. And then the actual bikini part, it's very tight on her figure, you can see. You get some nice shading in there, and it is, again, it very tight on there. She is a very busty woman. And then a nice look at the actual top. It does look like leather. Looks like it's coming across as a leather look. And then I like how on the arm there's some like stitching on that leather piece there. And then another piece of armament that is done in like a metal to make it look like metal. And then you get her like very small cape that's done out of like a like an animal's fur. And you get a better look at what the shoulder pauldron looks like there. Get some red on it, some blood splatter. And then a nice look at the bandage for the arm. Again, this is done just as good as the knee here, how that was done up. And then the actual gloves here, there's a lot of detail on that, where it looks like a weathered glove, like it's seen some action. And then a little slit in the bottom there. And then even through that, you can see more of that bandage. I wish my camera would focus a little better, but that looks pretty good. And we're going to take a look at the actual portrait now. So this is a really good portrait. A lot of the Red Sonjas I've seen, like, they've all had really good portraits, but this one, I really like this one because she's screaming. She is in action. A lot of the other ones, she's just done up to look pretty. This one, no, she is a warrior. She is swinging that sword. So it is nice that she's screaming. Her eyebrows are in this very angry position. You can see the anger in her face. Her teeth there, the tongue. It's all really well done. Her freckles on her face, the eyes, the eyebrows, and the eyelashes. Really well done. And then her hair is also really well done. It does kind of have a blob together effect. Kind of get lost in it in the back just a little bit. Like right in there. Kind of looks like a mess, but you're not really ever going to see that. And that's not really what you're looking at on this statue. I mean, as a whole, this is what you're looking at, and this just looks incredible. Again, some of the other pieces I have, really one other piece I have, the Vampirella, when I show you this next to that, they look incredible. I absolutely I love how they look together. So we're going to go ahead and turn this around, and we'll take a look at the back now. We're going to start off with the base, looking at the back of the statue, and then we'll work our way up to the top there. There's not too much added to the back. You do get a couple new faces here. This one's actually got an arm connected with a rib cage that is just kind of hard to make out, but it is there. So that's pretty cool looking. And then on the other side, you actually get another skull. And that's about it. That's new for the back. You just see more of like the flow that goes up to the sword. And then the arm here that's holding her leg, you see it a little bit better on this side. You see the fingernails in it, as well as the bottom of the actual boot here. You can see the different, like the texturing in it, and then the mud that's on the toe, and then just a little bit on the heel. That's cool. That's something I didn't know until I just started recording this actually, so that's pretty cool. And then anybody wondering about the connection, how like stable it is and stuff, you can see the outline for the key there. It's pretty big, and it's all one piece connected to the majority of the body, so I have no worries there about stability. And as you can see, you can make out the outline of the key from the top view, but when you're just kind of filming or just looking at the statue, once you forget about the key, you don't really notice it. So that's something pretty cool. Blends in very well. And then you can see on the other side of the boot there, just a little bit of blood splattered, and just get a little bit of a better view here at the actual boot and the black ropes around the leg. And then looking at the thigh there, you can see the blood splatter, and then the bandage that goes up right there. And then you get the actual skirt piece here. And so the skirt is connected to the O-ring there, and then the actual underwear, I believe, is the strap that is right above that. And she is wearing underwear. It's not just the skirt there, so she is covered. And then you have the actual knife on the leg here, has a skull on it. That's pretty cool. I didn't notice that until recording this either, so it's like I've had this statue for a month now, and every time I look at it, there's always something new you notice. And then looking at the back of this thigh, you can see the leather strap that the very little bit of armament she's wearing on there is connected to, and then the ropes that the little knife is connected to. And then a little bit better of a view of the other boot here, taking a look at the bottom of it with some more of that mud and that texture in there. And then if we work our way up her leg again, just a little bit more of the belt there. And then you can see the strap holding her bikini together. And then up there you can see the leather straps for her shoulder pauldrons. And you see it's held together with some rivets there. And then the actual cape here is done up to look like two different animal hides. So it's very cool. So you get the bottom, which is more of like just like a solid hide of an animal that's got very short fur. And then the top one is very, lots of fur. And it's a slightly different tone color. So that's very nice. I like how they did that. And then you get the shoulder pauldrons here. And you see this one on her right shoulder just a little bit better from the back. Couldn't really see it from the front. You see like the detail in the crafting there. It's very well done. I like the style that they've thrown in it, and the red oval bits there. And then this gold band here always reminds me of Slave Leia, just because she wears one on her other arm that looks just like it. And then you get her glove here with some more of that bandage wrapping that's got some more of that like dirty texture to it, and just little hints of blood in it. And you see the actual sword. So we'll start with the pommel. You can just make out the engraving in it. And then you can see on either side there are like dragon heads in it. So that's pretty cool. And then the actual handle for it, just got some nice detail in there. Looks like leather. And then the cross guard there is symmetrical, and you get some designs on either side. And then the actual blade itself is done up as a steel blade. You get a little bit of dirt the further down you get, and some blood speckle. And then you get some actual blood that flows down and connects with the base, which is very nicely done. And the actual sword is not connected to the base. It just kind of rests on where you see those two blood pieces kind of sit on each other. That's just kind of how it sits there. Doesn't connect or key in or anything. Just rest there. and it is a very nice effect. I love how the statue looks. And then if you take a look at the hair here, it's not bad, but it is probably, it could have been a little bit better. Looking at the poison ivy I had, it's got a little bit of a, the ivy I have has like a darker hair tone than this, but it's more defined. You can see more individual strands and stuff. So I think they could have done a little bit better with the hair here. This is probably one of the more areas of critiques I have with the statue. But overall, I mean, because you're not really going to notice this from the back, I'm never displaying this from the back. There's not really much to look at other than the sword, and if you prefer this view, but I don't really, I think she has a lot more to view from like the front or the front kind of side facing view, so not really going to be complaining about that too much. Hair looks fine from the front, so we're going to go ahead and throw this back around and move it where I usually have it in my collection, and I'll show her off with some other statues. So here's how I have her displayed within my collection. I really like how this piece works with this Vampirella. These are two different scales and two different companies, but I think they work perfectly together. I can't imagine any other Vampirella statue that's out or that has been released that would work better than this. So, and I have the Succubus on pre-order, and it's been paid off already for Sideshow. I am so excited for when that gets here. I think that's going to look incredible with these two, and I'm actually thinking about pairing that one with Red Sonja and then having Vampirella kind of in the background, making it look like she's conjuring this fight up or something. So I think that's going to look like a killer display. It's going to be so cool. But, you know, until then, this is how my display is. So I have those two. And then I have Jill Valentine next to them, because I think as far as the flow of these pieces, I think this works really well. You have, this is kind of lower, and then it gets up, and it goes higher and higher until you get to Lady D, and then it goes back down with Melina and Two-Face over there. And I'm not going to show too much off today, because I'm planning on doing a collection tour video within the next month, hopefully. I've been working pretty hard the past month or two, getting as much stuff out as I can to display it and make it look nice for you guys, because I've been wanting to do a collection tour for a long time, because I got a lot of stuff since the last time I did one. And the last time I did one, I didn't really show everything off. I just kind of showed off some statues that I had. So definitely be expecting a lot more in this versus just statues. You know, I got some Legos, and I got Star Wars Black Series, Transformers, Back to the Future, Nier Automata stuff. So as much as I can, Final Fantasy, as much as I can fit in and look presentable, I will get that shown off. So that is it for this video. I have another statue on the way. Hopefully that gets here within a week, because that's definitely going to be up before the collection video. So I will see you guys in that video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.